Obviously, I'm focused on game to game and the whole process of it. But now that it is 63 wins, franchise record, just how are you taking it all in right now?
I don't think it's remotely possible to take that in. You know what I mean? I know what I feel right now, but to really process it, man, it's hard. When we came here, the goal was obviously to build a program and step by step, do some things. And it started with the young guys that we had that first year, the bubble last year, and then the individual stuff that we've seen guys achieve along the way. And then tonight is unbelievably special for so many people, and not just the organization, but the people in the city that have basically birthed the Suns. Everywhere I go, people talk about the Suns are their baby, and to have us playing this way, achieving this goal tonight is huge for the Valley. And it's hard to put it into words, but we're all pretty grateful. And we talk about celebrating everything. And there's just so many people that have a huge part in this, from the players who are the main cogs in it all, but in particular, ownership, James, but also people like Jay Gaspar and Denise Romero, who just, they've grown up in this organization. And it's special to see them excited about what we're doing. They have a team that they're proud of, they can cheer for, and they actually work in the organization. And so there's just so many things I could say right now, but I'm just grateful to be in this position. I'm grateful for the guys that I get to coach and work with, but I'm also grateful that God blessed me to be able to come here and be the coach of the Phoenix Suns, because we had no idea. When I came down the escalator to my press conference, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew I had a lot of work to do. But in that process, I've been with some really good people, and I'm glad to celebrate that or this with them.
Part of that history is that Chris Paul became the first player in NBA history that be part of 4 teams to set franchise.
Is that right? I mean, there you go. We couldn't even celebrate him passing, I think, Gary Payton the other day, and here's another one. It speaks to his greatness, it speaks to his longevity, but his love for the game and the work that he's put in, and the support system that he has. I was walking off the floor and there was CJ. Every step of the way I've seen CJ. When I was in New Orleans, there was CJ, and then Jada, and now medium Chris. I don't like calling him little Chris. I call him medium Chris and Cam. I know his family, they're proud of him, and I'm sure everybody in Winston-Salem is proud of their son for all that he's achieved. And I'm grateful that I've had this partnership with him the last 2 years and even in New Orleans.
What clicked in that third quarter?
The defense for sure. We just, we're able to keep guys in front of us. We talked about shifting more to make them play on the other side. They were playing on the left side of the floor most of the first half. We were trying to get them to go to the other side. We weren't, giving up easy shots, but we just felt like we weren't making them work enough. We were just trying to get them to throw it to the other side and contest and keep the ball in front. That's all we talked about, especially on their step-up pick and roll. I think they got 2 lobs tonight on step-up pick and rolls, which is not bad against Russ when he's that dynamic going downhill, and then AD and Dwight at the rim. But I thought we did a decent job in the third quarter, just turning it up.
What you talked about, wanting to find joy again, obviously it's easier to do that on a night like
Yeah.
this, but even before the result was final,
Yeah.
it felt like guys were playing
Yeah.
a lot more.
I felt it in the first half when we made a bit of a run in the second quarter. The first quarter defense, it was plus 30 for them. 31 points in the first half. I thought the second quarter we started to pick it up, and then in the third, that's typically where the joy comes from when we get stops and convert, and we can force a team to call a timeout, especially on our home floor. It's a special place, and I think when we go into the timeout, our guys are looking at the play that I may draw up, but they're thinking about getting a stop, and we understand how defense can be something that generates a lot of energy for the fans and for our team.
Monty, when you mentioned those interactions you're having with people around the game, what's the feeling for an accomplishment like this, winning the West last year, in terms of doing this kind of thing for them in these situations?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd be irresponsible for me to speak on it, and like I did it. I think it's a combination of us and them. You know what I'm saying? I think our fans have to, and I believe they do, but I think I want them to understand how important they are. I've heard people that come here to play and they're like, man, this place wasn't that loud even back in the day. And I think the energy around the city is at a high level right now. We don't want that to dissipate at all. I'm just grateful to be a part of it. You know what I mean? There's so many people that are in this process with us. And if I had to convey a message to our fans, it's like, we're all grateful for the support. And even when I first got here and we were coming off of a 19-win season, there was great support, and it's just built up with the success that we've had, and we hope to have much more.
Devin took off his jersey after the game and gave it to Alan Boyd and signed it, but just how have you seen him handle this label he has as the face of the franchise, and how his reputation as one of the franchise greats that continues to ascend?
I mean, I think he's done it naturally. I think Book is the kind of guy that doesn't force it or try to be something that he's not. I think he's growing in leadership. He's growing and learning what it's like to be not just the face of a franchise, but the face of a winning franchise. I think that's what he's always wanted. And I think Chris has been a huge part of that, that partnership and learning from Chris. I'm sure going to the All-Star game and the Olympic team, being around those guys that have done it, I'm sure that's had a huge impact on him. And, I feel the same way about Book as I do Chris. I'm grateful that I get to partner with Book. When I came here, that was one of the main conversations I had was with Book at this place called the Sanctuary. And he looked me in the eyes and said, Coach, whatever you need, I'll do it. And that was before he was looked at the way that he is now. And that was the foundation for me, his commitment to the program and just partnering with us to, build this thing.
Coach, you talk about 3 games left, franchise record, but how are you going to approach those games before the playoffs, trying to keep the positive energy that we found tonight?
Sure.
What's at the same time maybe resting or?
The resting thing is something that I'm not quite sure if there's a huge benefit because of the position we're in the play-in tournament, you get almost a week off. And so at some point, there's going to be some deconditioning for the top seeds. So I don't think there's a necessary benefit to resting guys right now. I think if you rest guys too early, there could be a detriment. And so that's something that we've, talked about as a staff and with our medical people and the players. Like, players want to keep their rhythm. So I'm not quite sure there's a right balance, but I know that you can decondition guys, especially with the time between our last game and when we possibly could play again.
High jumpers, when they set a record, world record, they usually stop. Now 63, are you going to go for 4?
We try to win every game. That's our nature. We have a bunch of sore losers in our locker room, and I'm sure that our guys want to establish themselves as the standard by increasing the win total. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We got a game tomorrow. That's our focus right now. We got to get on the plane and get out of here. So, fewer questions you guys ask me, the better.
Monty, can I ask?
Didn't work.
I don't mean to listen in on what you're talking about when you're walking in. It sounded like maybe someone was trying to give you, I don't know if it was the game ball or something afterwards, anything like that happened?
No, I didn't get a game ball. I don't, that stuff is internal. I'll keep it that way. It'll come out later, but I don't want to talk about it just yet. It was pretty cool. What happened. You know what? I got to look. We gave the game ball to Jay Gaspar. Jay's been here for 34 years, and it bothered me that he wasn't able to go to the All-Star game because I was just under the belief that everybody was going, but I forgot about, budgets and rooms and how crowded it would be. And so he came to the airport, and the morning we left just to bring per diem. I thought he was getting on the plane, and he wasn't going. And I knew it bothered him, but he's such a team guy. He's been here for 34 years. He's seen it all. And so the team decided to give it to Jay. And it was a really cool moment. And all the guys were all over him, and he got to bring it in and say the final words tonight. So I just thought that's who we are. Everything counts, and every person in this organization counts.
So that was all the cheering as we came in here.
May have been. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Well, part of a lot of several coaches in this franchise history, Copper Simmons, and Paul Westfall, Mike Antoni, Al Gentry. I was built a part of that class of these coaches that made me impact in the first 3 years.
I mean, you name those names. That's a heck of a group. But the guy that comes to mind is Coach McLeod. He was my coach in college, and right before I got the job, he passed. And so I often think about Coach. He had a huge impact on my life, and if I could send a message out to anyone, it would be to Coach's family, how much I appreciated what he did for me. And I didn't think it was a coincidence that I ended up here, So that's who came to mind. I mean, there's so many connections. I live right next to the house where Mike D'Antoni used to live. And so it's like weird. I live right next to his old house, that kind of thing. So it's just a really cool community, but an awesome list of coaches. And for me to be in that group of coaches says a lot about the people that I get to work with and coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.